What I did wrong in 2016 is I overestimated white people. I didn't think white people would put him in office.
I'm not willing to let white voters off the hook. I think that they, like the rest of us, should be treated as adults. And I think that there are a large number, I would say a majority of white Americans in this country who are not just Democrats, but who are people of conscience, who are good Americans. And I believe that they need to move from saying, well, I don't like his tweets, but, you know, the economy's doing okay. They need to move from there to reality, which is that we have a white nationalist president who's a threat to American democracy.
Now, there was a time, not so long ago, just a few years ago, really, when language like this was considered textbook race hatred, even by liberal Democrats. You weren't allowed to blame entire races of people for anything. You weren't even supposed to think of your fellow Americans primarily in terms of their race, and skin color is one thing that nobody can control. To paraphrase a longtime liberal hero whose ideas are now ignored, what matters is the content of a person's character. But not anymore. Now, the opposite is true. Identity is everything. Here's CNN's Don Lemon on Monday night.
So we have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right. And we have to start doing something about them. There is no travel ban on them. There is no ban on, you know, they have the Muslim ban. There is no white guy ban. So what do we do about that?
We have to start doing something about them. Here's what Don Lemon said last night about his remarks on Monday.
I said that the biggest terror threat in this country comes from radicals on the far right, primarily white men. That angered some people. Their analysis shows that for every 8 deadly attacks by right-wing extremists, there were 1 by left-wing extremists. Those are the facts. So people who were angered about what I said are missing the entire point. We don't need to worry about people who are thousands of miles away. The biggest threats are homegrown.
If you didn't like what I said, that's your problem. You'll notice the lack of contrition when Don Lemon said we have to start doing something about Americans of a certain skin color. Turns out it wasn't a mistake. He meant that. He didn't apologize because nobody in his world asked him to. They're all saying pretty much the same thing. This is now a common view in the Democratic Party. It's one of the things they're running on. Now, lots of Americans won't like that message, obviously, but Democrats are not concerned about that. They no longer care what those Americans think. They've given up on trying to represent them, and that's why they fight harder to defend birthright citizenship for foreigners than they ever fought to protect American citizens from heroin or plunging middle-class wages or privacy-destroying tech monopolies. They know who their constituency is. That also explains their sudden sympathy for lawbreakers over everyone else. You already know about the Democrats' demand that America ignore its own immigration laws, but it's gone far beyond that. Elizabeth Warren, who's a senator from Massachusetts and is running for president in 2020, has condemned our entire criminal justice system as irredeemably racist. Meanwhile, the Hollywood Senate candidate Beto O'Rourke agrees with that. He's called our justice system, quote, the new Jim Crow. He accused cops of shooting people